Sweet. Are we live? Oh, we're live right now. Sorry.
Gotta put my hand up and admit it. Think I really might have blown it this time. This time. I was living with the love of my life, but I had nothing but the glory on my mind. Nothing but the glory on my mind. Didn't we say take on the world, sharing highs and lows together? I held your dreams up with my own. I picture it now, the look on your face as you realize I had no time for no one else except myself. Someone should have told me, but it's too late. Shouldn't flatter myself thinking that there's no way you would go. Gotta put my hand up and admit it. Think I really might have blown it this time. I was living with the love of my life, but I had nothing but the glory on my mind. Nothing but the glory on my mind.
Good evening and welcome to another DA Musical HQ session. I've got another exciting one this evening. Touching base with a good friend of mine who I haven't seen for a while actually. He actually lives in Berlin. Which is crazy to think of, but yeah, he does live here. It seems like he doesn't, but he's here. And yeah, so looking forward to speaking to Charles Cleyn, a rising superstar, if you will. YouTube channel is also growing at a rate of knots. He's just hit 11,000, which is like amazing. And yeah, he's doing some really good stuff, but looking forward to having a good chat. Just to kind of remind y'all, we've got that's me, by the way. We are still supporting the World Health Organization COVID-19 Solidarity Response Fund in their fight to get rid of this COVID-19 virus. I know there are some countries in the world that are bowing out of the World Health Organization at the moment, but we're going to support them still. But yeah, without much further ado, we're going to move over to Neükölln actually. And here we go. He's live on the screen at the moment. How's it going?
Good. I am doing great.
We're live. We've got you on the screen. Audio is working. This is
Audio
all very
is good.
good.
This is great.
Yeah.
It feels really good to like hang out and be online talking about music, and it's kind of everything's taken a bit of a pause.
It has. It really is. It really is bizarre. Like, I think we're going to be in this particular pattern, like this holding pattern, for probably the next 6 months to a year, which I can't fathom, because how are musicians going to survive this?
Yeah, it's just it's definitely going to change a lot of people's day to day and what they prioritize. I think it's definitely changed my day to day of being a musician. So it will be interesting to see what musicians do over the next 6 months to a year and how they overcome all the negatives that have come from coronavirus. But still, I bet there's going to be some cool stuff that will happen. People being creative and getting on live streams, or
I mean, look, they are live streams, and I think people are streaming. But I think from what I can see, people are not necessarily grasping it with both hands and like using it. Because I mean, for right now, like as we know, you can't. It's banned in Berlin. I think it's banned in Germany as well to sing in an enclosed environment. Basically, that means all enclosed bars, everything where music would take place, that's all banned. So how do we go around continuing to make some sort of revenue out of the music industry? And that's like a big discussion.
Yeah, big can of worms there.
Big can of worms.
Yeah.
Big can of worms. But
it's closed. I think in Berlin, like you can't. I mean, I haven't played a show in months, and I don't think any closed doors, like you say, are open. But I believe garden concerts are starting to open, and that kind of thing. And you, as any German would agree to, I'm sure, is German gardens are a very popular thing. So
for sure,
that's a good thing. There's a lot of garden concerts.
We've actually got to start looking around and finding all the gardens around Berlin, like the big ones, like the big gardens where you can fit like 200 people with 1.5 meters, space between them.
Yeah. Well, all the beer gardens are packed.
That's
we went for a bike ride the other day and we went by one, and it's just totally packed. Like they probably could use some live music.
For sure. For sure.
And knock on their door, and I'll entertain your guests.
Exactly. I mean, if you want me to wear a mask, I will. I'll be your mask.
Mask down, and then like take a sip of your Weiss beer.
Have you seen the one where there's like a lever and it sort of opens a flap on the mask, which kind of gives space to.
Oh, really? I haven't seen that one yet.
It's a funny one.
Makes sense.
So just to let everyone know, that was Nothing But the Glory, which was from last year. Some really great tracks actually that you're starting to collect, which is great. And I hear in the pipeline that there are some excellent ones coming too. But I won't say anything. I'll leave that up to you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there is some things in the pipeline. This Friday will be the release of my first song this year in about a year. It's called King of My Own.
Yeah.
And this is a song I wrote with Charlie Grant and Ainsley Adams.
Charlie's actually online, just out of interest. He's in the chat. Hey, how's it, Charlie Grant?
Yeah. So, and Ainsley produced the track as well. So we wrote the song, I think around Christmas time last year, and we're all really excited to get it out this Friday, which will be the first one of a batch of songs that I'll release over the next year.
It's
regularly.
Great. It's great. Yeah. It's fantastic because I mean, I don't know how many you've got, but I'm sure you've got enough to be able to spread like single releases through the year. Yeah,
exactly. It's that kind of game now. Just
you have to
instead of releasing batches of songs. I'd love to actually get them all out like right now. It's a shame because I just don't think that's the right approach, because you need to put a lot of focus on the songs. Each song is a really big piece of content that you want people to focus on. So
something that I was thinking was, I was speaking to a client of mine recently about his sort of latest EP that he's working on, and I said to him, don't release the whole EP straight away, because what you'll find is that maybe one or two songs on the album people will listen to, and the rest just fall by the wayside. And that's a danger that you kind of that is the danger of releasing everything all at once. Whereas if you release like singles at every month or every 2 months, you've got like ammo, and then you kind of ride the wave,
Yeah, you got the moment your momentum never stops, and so people are always curious of what's going to happen next.
Exactly. So that's a good thing. Where did you do all the recording? What did you do the recording for King of My Own?
For King of My Own, we worked at Brave Music, which is run and operated by Ainsley Adams, and it's in Berlin, and we recorded everything there.
So good.
We kind of wrote the song there, and then through like a period of, a few weeks and months. Kind of Christmas happened, and got the song organized in the new year, and it took some time to get it right, because it was a new song we were all excited about, and a new kind of sound for my project, and so we took our time with it.
It's great. It's a good decision. I've got a couple of questions here, which we might want to start delving into.
Yeah.
I did spend like 20 minutes this afternoon before playing some Xbox. So the first question is, when did you first start playing music? When was the first time you picked up a guitar and knew that you had talent?
I started playing piano when I was little, maybe around 7 years old. My older sister and older brother, they were both playing piano, and my parents put us into piano lessons. We had a piano at the house, and I remember like never fully choosing to play, but it was a good thing for me to do when I was young, and I in hindsight, I am happy that happened. But I stopped playing the piano in high school and was just focused on sports. And then after being away from music, and I picked up the guitar when I was 18 and started playing guitar.
18. Okay, so so you've been sort of at it for a while.
Yeah, and recently I've been playing a lot more piano. So I think those are my instruments, going back and forth between the guitar and then the piano. I find, especially, it helps with songwriting, for having fresh starts on each instrument after a few months, and you have a new wave of inspiration and kind of creativity just because you haven't been at the instrument. So you sit at the piano and you're like, oh, I haven't played this chord, sounds a lot different than it does on the guitar.
Yeah.
I have a new melody that comes instinctively to mind already.
It's fascinating. I was just thinking about it, that you'd probably write quite different melodies on keyboard as opposed to guitar. Like your whole structure would probably change.
Very much so,
which is interesting.
It's easy. I find it's very easy. Well, I think on piano especially, you can fall into the trap easily of writing like really slow ballads, because there's such a sustain on the piano that you can play one chord and can really last a few bars, and you can get into a trap of writing slow songs.
Yeah.
And it does happen on the guitar too, but sometimes the guitar is very much a percussive instrument, as it is just the other instrument. I don't know, but it's a different way to write, for sure.
Interesting. I'll just see what. Here we go. This is an interesting one. What did you do before deciding to make music your profession?
Yeah, before I got into music, I mean, actually, it's funny. I played in like a band in high school, and then after high school, I decided to go to university, and so I went to business school and was still playing in bands just on the side, and open mics, a lot of open mics on campus. And then afterwards, I left to Spain and took a year off. I lived in Mallorca for a year. And then I had made the decision to like either do music full time or join a company and like be a worker. And I decided to be a worker for a company. And so I did that for 6 years. And then after 6 years, I wanted to get back to the music that I left. And so the 6 years, it went really fast, actually, because of the company I worked for was really exciting. And so the time was, the invested time there is actually is paying real dividends in my music career as well.
That's what I was going to ask. Is like, what do you feel like those 6 years were beneficial?
Yeah, in one way, I'm like, I could have become a master at the piano with the guitar in those 6 years and written like 2,000 songs. But but then I also got a lot of valuable marketing experience and business experience that I find are still really an asset in the music industry, especially nowadays when it feels like 90% of it is promotion and 10% music, which is too bad. But there's so much music out there that never gets heard, and it's really good.
Totally.
And,
like it's like a flood.
It's not in the control of the musician, really. You can't completely take control of and be certain that you can make it or get 10 million streams on Spotify.
I mean, you can write the best material. You can write the best songs. You can involve like 10 people all co-writing to create the best tunes, and that no one will hear it.
Yeah.
If you're not like driving the promo train along, like they're not gonna find you, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So it's a promo world. What are some new promo? Have you seen any new or anyone doing anything interesting in regards to music promotion?
Like on the online space, or?
Yeah, on the online space.
Well, I mean, you've got something very interesting, actually. I mean, you've got a growing YouTube channel of 11,000 people. It's not something to sniff at. And I'm prepared to bet you that you haven't paid for one of those subscribers.
Yeah, they are organic. That's for sure.
That's a feat. I remember sitting here in this at this table behind me here.
Yeah.
Talking about doing a YouTube channel.
Yeah, it was. it's kind of crazy, right? That it's just starting to snowball a little bit, which is exciting.
Well, it's great. I mean, surely look, you're not going to be making like vast sums of money from AdSense for sure. That's a given. But I'm sure you've had people actually emailing you and talking about doing this and doing that and talking about this particular product, or.
Yeah, I've gotten it's starting to be enough of an audience where products or other people are interested into leveraging my audience,
which is great.
So,
that's fantastic, because you're doing something. You're talking about a subject that you like. You're talking about something that you are obviously you're very clued up on, and that's also like driving your own music career at the same time, because people are able to like offshoot from those videos. And that's what I say to people. Is like, it's not just about the music. You've got to go that particular route. And I think that's an example of someone that's doing something different with their music career.
I think YouTube I think is a valuable, still an oldie but a goodie still, YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's not a. I mean, I know in the beginning you were almost doing like daily vlog style. This is what I'm playing, and like this is where I'm at, and those were great. But I think I met you after you were doing it for like a year, and I think we were at Prachtwerk or something in Berlin, and you were like hanging onto onto the thread of sleep, you know.
Yeah, it wasn't fun. That was and my wife, I think, can probably say I probably wasn't so much fun to hang out with during those 115 days. But I had, for some reason, I thought that it would go somewhere, and it never did. But they're still up there. That's the thing. That I did the daily vlogs for 115 days in a row, and they're still up there. Most of them only have like 50 views.
But that's not. I think that's not necessarily. That's not such a bad thing. I think what it did is it got you into it got you onto the hamster wheel.
Exactly. Yeah. It was the first step that needed to happen. It was a long first step, but it was a big step that got my confidence up in front of the camera. And
totally. And that requires a lot of work, I tell you.
Yeah. It's not easy, even when you're by yourself talking to like a lens.
Yeah, funny. I mean, but even doing something like this requires. It's a weird thing because you're not actually speaking to a person. Well, you are, but it's like you've got to get used to that, and you've got to know where to look at the camera, and you've got to like look at all these different cameras, and it's
different style of communication
for sure.
That will all be like globally get much better at over the next decade. Now that most people are working from home.
Totally.
Just the cues of, like, do you know if it's like a common, because like I'm looking at you on the square, but like now, for example, I'm looking at the camera. Yeah. So people think I'm looking like right at their eyes. Yeah. I don't know is there a rule around that? I think those are rules that I think will start to happen. Like you should look in the camera or you should look.
I mean, I've got two. So I think the audience that's currently watching, and I haven't seen any comments yet, and I'm waiting for someone to comment on it. But I've got two different cameras here. So one camera is basically so you can see the studio and me. Otherwise, it's weird because you're not speaking to anybody. And then I've got another one, which is then this HD camera, which is the one that is in the bottom right-hand corner of the image. So like I constantly look between the two cameras and the screen. Like in the middle there's a little triangle. And that should be like your sweet spot.
Oh, okay.
But you've got to train yourself. Otherwise, it's very easy just to look at the screen and then you can look at the camera and like you don't know where the guy's looking,
Because that's one of the difficulties. You don't, like, if someone was talking to you face to face and they were looking like at your forehead, you'd be like, stop looking at my forehead, like look me in the eyes. Like it's so annoying when someone plays tricks on you like that.
I mean, I suppose you've got to look. If I had both cameras at the same height, then I guess I could kind of use them as eyes. You look at the eyes.
Right, but then it's oddly like
it looks weird because you're looking right at the person who's watching.
Yeah, and when you're online, it's awkward. I feel to look at someone in the face, like eye to eye. It's just a weird thing. But yeah, we'll probably all get a lot better at it and create these cultural norms.
Exactly. So, guys, this is what Charles Cleyn and I talk about on whenever we get together, we talk about crazy things like YouTube, and which is fun. I'll tell you something. We're 23 minutes in, so I thought maybe we should have a musical interlude.
Sounds great. All right, what are you gonna play?
No, it's you're playing. We could play a track.
I see you have a keyboard there too. We both have our keyboards ready.
I can't play it now because I don't have Cubase open.
Okay, that's actually one thing I still have the keyboard here and it's MIDI only.
I've been looking at getting a main keyboard which is MIDI but also audio out.
Right. Yeah, and that helps a lot.
And that would be that would be a full length 88 key proper weighted keyboard.
Keys?
Yeah.
Nice.
But this is a Novation Mark II 49. I think it's a 49 key. It's great. I'm really looking Novation is incredible.
Yeah, they're a good product.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So either we
Yeah.
could either
Yeah.
we could either play something off Spotify, which means YouTube later will definitely be taking any money that comes out of that and pay it straight into your account, which is what it's meant for. Or you could play
right.
something for us live.
Oh yeah, I can. Would be fun to do it live.
Well, let's do it live then.
And it'd be fun to play the song that's coming out this Friday,
That's a good idea.
called "King of My Own."
That's a good
So,
idea.
Be the first listen for everyone.
Bring it on.
And let me know, Dom, if when I start playing, like, we did a quick audio check before. I don't want to peak the mics and break everyone's ears if
Yeah,
things
no,
are working. But you can hear the keyboard now.
Audio is fine. You can even just hang back. Like you don't need to sing too loud or anything. It's
Sure, yeah.
just be yourself.
One ear.
So exciting
Cool.
times, King of Your Own.
So yeah, this is called "King of My Own," and it is a song that I wrote with Charlie Grant and Ainsley Adams, and it will be out on Spotify and all the streaming services this Friday.
Looking forward to it.
You always kept so calm, I could barely even handle myself. When we got into it, my fate was sewn. Too young to know that you were ruling my throne. As I was finding my way, you blinded me, baby. Got me thinking I was going crazy. You pulled the strings till I didn't matter. You broke my spirit and I let it happen. I'm calling it in. I'm the king of my own. Whoa, I got a devil on my shoulder trying to tear me from the angel I know. Whoa, you can be the queen of your world, but I'm the king of my own. You can be the queen of your world, but I'm the king of my own. Even now that I've hardened my shell, it's not over, I'm still under your spell. I'm the strongest that I've ever been. I never knew that you could pull me back in. As I was finding my way, you deafened me, baby. Get me thinking I was going crazy. You pulled the strings, but it doesn't matter. Can't break my spirit, I won't let it happen. I'm the king of my own. Whoa, I got a devil on my shoulder trying to tear me from the angel I know. Whoa, you can be the queen of your world, but I'm the king of my own. You can be the queen of your world, but I'm the king of my own. You can be the queen of your world, but I'm the king of my own. You can be the queen of your world, but I'm the king of my own. You can be the queen of your world, but I'm the king of my own.
King of My Own. Incredible. That's a cracker.
Thanks, Dom.
That's a cracker. No, really it is.
Hope it came through okay.
It's incredible. It's
It's
Trish says, "Great to see you. We love you, Charles. Can't wait for release." Trish.
yes, I can't wait as well. That's my sister,
Ah, hey Trish,
Trish,
the King Charles Cleyn.
from Ottawa, Ontario, all the way.
All the
over in
way,
Canada.
hey? It's only like 1 o'clock there, right?
Yeah, just after lunch.
Great.
Yeah,
Well,
so
musical interlude just after lunch.
yeah.
It's great, man. That's a good song, man. It's really good. I'm gonna actually jump to a question which I had here, because this was a co-write. What are your thoughts regarding co-writing?
I love co-writing. I think co-writing has helped me become a really much stronger writer than I could ever be if I did it alone. I was writing songs alone for maybe actively for like a year or two. And then I first started doing co-writing with Adam Wendler and Charlie Grant. And both helped me a lot to like become better writers. And then I seriously started working with Charlie Grant more regularly, and he really helped me develop my songwriting. And then I was writing more with Ainsley Adams, and then Charlie Ainsley and I formed a bit of a team and wrote the 3 songs that I released last year. And together, the 3 of us wrote King of My Own, and we also have another one called Promises that will be out this year.
That's exciting, man.
And so, yeah, and not to mention 3 other ones that I also co-wrote with Charlie, who will be releasing this year as well. So, to get long-winded answer, but to get back to your question, I think co-writing it at a certain stage of your songwriting career for any musician can really excel your songwriting.
Yeah, that's a good point. And Charlie Grant is a very, very. He's a dark horse. I call him a dark horse. But that's
a coffee shop in Toronto too. The Dark Horse.
He is well. I mean, he could own the Dark Horse. No, like he's great. Like he's co-written a lot of very interesting songs. One of my favorite songs that Simply Red recorded has him on it as a co-write, which is incredible. So, yeah, great that you've got a relationship going with him. He's great. He's great.
Yeah, really happy with everything we've written together, and he also has his own project too. And
sure,
I think is
not
releasing
just one.
Some songs in the coming months as well, and already has released a few singles this year. So
not just one project. He's got like 3 projects.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know when he finds the time to do this.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff.
You just have to not sleep.
Sleeping is not an option.
So okay, so co-writing definitely is giving you kind of a boost and a leg up. So, how do you write songs? Like, if you were not co-writing, what is your modus operandi?
The way I've come to do it now is I prefer to set like at least a week or 2 weeks, preferably, just to like do writing by myself, and then I'll bring like ideas to co-write sessions. And so I can work through the ideas at the beginning myself and be the first level that can say like, that's crap, or I like that, I'll continue with it. And then I need at least 2 weeks to only focus on that and nothing else. Like, I find it difficult to do some songwriting one day and then do anything else but songwriting the next day. I can't work. I can't multitask. It's one thing I'm really bad at. So I have to like do one thing at a time, and I'll just turn off like everything other than songwriting and just do that every day or for 2 weeks, most of the day. And at the end, hopefully have, 10 or 12 new songs
in 2 weeks.
in 2 weeks.
That's
Yeah,
incredible.
like not full songs, but
Yeah.
at least like a verse, like, you know, pre-verse. The song is pretty much there, and like, hey, that's the song. We just need to just make it bigger.
Yeah.
But yeah, 10 or 12 songs for sure, and then I'll probably then I choose the best 2 or 3 and work on a co-write session.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
Yeah, I find that a valuable way to do it. But it's a weird thing. Songwriting is a really hard thing to do sometimes, because you wake up and you're like, every day I wake up during those 2 weeks, I don't want to write a song. And I actually like drag myself to write a lot of songs, but I enjoy singing them after they're done, and I do it for that. I don't actually enjoy like so much of the arduous, like long pain that goes into writing a song. I'm not that type of songwriter. And I think there's a lot of songwriters that like love that like poetic and writing and sitting in a room and writing a song. And I get through that so I can like have a song and really be, wow, I wrote the song and I can sing it now.
Yeah, so you sort of look forward to the performance of it rather than the actual writing of it. Yeah, I can imagine that. I think writing a song that has meaning and that has something like a message, you gotta dig down there and somewhere down there to find out, like, to find the substance that you can put into a song.
Yeah, you gotta dig deep, and I think that's one thing why it is a struggle sometimes, because I don't, the other way to do it is just like write a song, right? Like we can write a song right now and it would just be superficial, you know.
Yeah.
But I prefer to sing deeper songs.
Totally.
And
those are the difficult ones, because you gotta peel back all the layers, you know, to kind of get to the good stuff. Well,
yeah,
that's why a whole lot of musicians have psychologists traveling with them on tour.
Yeah, but that's the great thing about like once you have an idea that you really like, then you can bring it into a co-writing session, and there's a lot less during a co-writing session. You're working with someone, so you know you're going, at the end of the day, hopefully you'll be finished, and you kind of make a goal for that. When you're by yourself, it's very easy to quit and just be like, I'm done. But another person could be like, let's get through this, and that helps. That's why I think co-writing is so valuable too, because you know you can show up to a session and you know it's a good chance you'll have a song at the end of the session. But you can show up alone, and it's a very good chance you won't have a song at the end.
Absolutely. I wonder whether it's like a good idea to do like a co-writing, like a small co-writing event with, you know, 15, 20 musicians. They all come together and they all like change around and change different ideas, and it takes like a weekend to go through this kind of event. And
like a camp, like a songwriting
like a little songwriting camp. Yeah, it's
I've never been to any songwriting camps, so I think it probably would have lots of value, but some added stress of kind of feeling rushed, or maybe that you have to prove something,
like some sort of competitive,
competition a bit.
Yeah. I want to try and get the best song.
Yeah, especially if you're like performing. Like usually the camps are like, okay, 2 days of writing, and then on the Sunday night, like we'll have beers and perform the song. So you can't show up on Sunday night with a crappy song. Like
or having had all the beers.
Yeah. See, like you just have to volunteer and say, I'll be the bartender that night instead, or write a good song.
Well, look, maybe we just stick to what you're doing anyway with Charlie and Ainsley. It's working. So we were speaking about your YouTube channel. For anyone that's watching, or for anyone that sort of watches a little bit later here, do you have some pointers out there to those who want to grow their YouTube channels and social media platforms? Anything that comes to your mind?
I would say every like social channel, if you're interested in growing it, I don't know how to give the best advice. I think each channel has their different ways to grow, and so for YouTube, you just have to, I think, commit to 2 years of not seeing any growth,
Yeah.
and then eventually it starts to happen. That's what happened to me. It's the second year now, and it's only starting to grow.
But you've also been you've uploaded a lot of videos in that time anyway.
Yeah, that's the thing. You can't just wait 2 years. You have to say like, I need to make 300 videos in 2 years, and then hopefully it will grow. But
Totally.
you just have to say, I hope.
Yeah,
And this is not saying like you have to be optimizing in every single video and making it a bit better every single time. But that honestly, almost, you don't have to put the headspace into like, oh, should I optimize it all? That kind of just happens naturally, because your brain just does that naturally. I find like it just gets better. Like, because you're doing it so much, you don't have to think, is this video better than my last one? It probably is, because you made 7 in a week. Yeah. So the 7th one is like, just by the mere fact that you're doing it every day, your brain took over and made it a bit better. Yeah.
Your editing, the whole edit process just becomes a whole lot better as well.
Exactly. Like you get faster with the shortcuts, you learn how to edit, and then you'll get plateaus where you'll say like, okay, I think I'm at a point where I'm not getting better. Then you have to like go and read some stuff and watch YouTube videos of other people, and that I've kind of, I feel like I'm still, I'm at a plateau now, and how do I improve? I have to reach out and learn from other people.
Do you see that there are like particular videos or particular edits that you've put through that have like garnered the most amount of views, or is it quite random?
I'd say it's not my editing skills at all. I don't have a very strong editing skill set, but I think it is the videos that I knew people were searching for. Okay. That I knew they would do well, because I knew they were searching for them. So the videos that I really thought my edits were killer and I loved the story, those are the worst. They get like,
So it's often difficult to find the right formula. Like it also, like, it all depends on who sees it and who then shares it and who moves it onto their network, and like it's difficult to say. Difficult to say.
It's the algorithm world, right?
For sure.
So,
for sure.
But yeah, I think like other social channels like Instagram and Facebook and Snapchat, TikTok, LinkedIn, they all have their different like capabilities of reach, and also when you push content to them, they'll work differently. Like it's maybe easier to grow faster on Instagram than it is on YouTube, but Instagram isn't a search engine, so your reach isn't as big as YouTube.
For sure.
I think that's like that's the kind of stuff like I was doing before, and it's valuable to know that stuff, and that's why I started the YouTube channel, to tell other musicians about like these fundamentals of marketing that I know from my past, and I'm trying to share this to other singer-songwriters because it's such an overwhelming task to do marketing and promotion when you don't have a background in it. I couldn't imagine doing it, to be honest, because there's just too much stuff, like posting on all these platforms. It's just too much.
That is crazy.
So that's the goal of the YouTube channel, is to help musicians and entrepreneurs to build their audiences.
That's great. That's great. All right. So we're now 45 minutes in. Do we venture into another musical interlude of sorts, or?
Yeah. What are you playing any music yourself?
Well,
Serious?
I'm literally just noodling at the moment. I'm doing quite a fair amount of noodling. I
like mostly guitar or keyboard.
Well, I bought this MIDI keyboard and I thought, it was a bit of a push, and sometimes you just have to do it. And it was a great thing because I used to play keyboard piano years ago back at school. And
like growing up.
Yeah, years ago, and that was what I started on. Well, after recorder.
Yeah,
like everyone, right?
Mandatory instrument.
The mandatory instrument of the youth. Yeah, and interestingly enough, I was really missing out on visualizing music and all that sort of stuff. Guitar is great. But if you haven't actually gone through the whole theory of it and you haven't really studied guitar and gone through that, it's very difficult to get off a particular plateau. So what I wanted to do is to start revisiting my theory and just by playing a little bit of piano, I'm unleashing some sort of theory that's been sitting in the back of my mind.
Right.
Because whenever I listen to a song, I don't visualize it on a fretboard. I visualize it on a keyboard. But if you don't have the keyboard in front of you, or you don't have the availability of actually playing it, it's difficult to unearth that knowledge.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I the same way. I actually envision it on the keys
for sure.
And
visualizing E flat. I know exactly how that looks. I know what it looks like in my mind. I know what an F sharp looks like, a B flat, a C sharp, I know all those sorts of things. But you can't really visualize it on the saxophone because you don't see your fingers going up and down the keys. Right. And then on guitar, you can see the fretboard. But again, it's just most of the guitar knowledge I have is from listening, basically, just listening and playing what I think I hear.
Yeah.
Very similar to a lot of guitarists actually. You just learn, from listening to certain material.
From the ear.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. I think John Mayer said that sometimes he goes on Instagram Live and he gives little guitar lessons. It's the coolest thing. And he's one of the best things to learn how to get better at lead playing and writing lead melodies. It's to sing out your melody and then play it on the guitar.
Totally. It's almost visualizing it.
So good.
Well, it's called voicing. It's called putting a voice to the tune or the melody that you're putting through your instrument. And if you can visualize that voicing before you do it, it somehow makes everything flow a little bit easier. And I've really enjoyed getting back into the keys, and I'm looking to download a few more samples soon. They've got some really good piano sounds, some really good e-piano sounds and that kind of stuff, and then looking at maybe doing some strings, but it's a huge learning curve to.
Yeah.
It's massive.
What piano libraries are you using for your sounds?
So the whole thing that I did here is by sort of going into Novation.
Because they have their own sound. Novation has their own sound libraries, right?
And that's but those are paid for, right? Those are right.
Yeah, those are the paid libraries.
Expense. Yeah. There are some others, but Native Instruments. That's where it's at. I mean, they make some really incredible sounds.
Yeah. The Contact library is pretty good too.
Yeah.
Have you heard of that one?
Yeah.
Is that Native Instruments?
That's part of Native, yeah.
That's Native? Okay. Yeah. It's just the MIDI MIDI piano is becoming so close to real piano. I mean, for me, it's actually quite difficult to hear the difference in a lot of cases, other than like real piano is noticeably different on a track because you can usually hear the room.
Exactly.
But if it's in the mix, it's hard to hear.
You won't be able to pick it up. You won't be able to pick it up.
It's really hard.
I mean, there's some string samples they've got, and they've got. I mean, you can get like a full orchestra, but then you can get like quartets, and you can get like little sort of trios and that kind of thing, and the sound of a cello or like viola or violin, like you won't be able to tell the difference. You really won't.
Yeah. We did 3 songs at a studio in Brandenburg that I was in recently that I recorded there, and there's a real piano, and we put real piano on everything, and actually one of the tracks we decided the MIDI piano actually sounded better than the real piano, and that sometimes that just works for the song, I think, because you can do things with MIDI that you can't with real piano, and
totally.
like quantize. You can make sure like MIDI notes are perfectly quantized, and that sometimes really helps the groove of the song, especially if it's a pop song.
Totally.
And because
gotta
really
get
hard to edit real pianos.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, you can't quantize audio. You can only quantize MIDI. So
yeah.
Look, it's
at least I don't know how to do that. I think Ainsley Adams could do that.
This setup through Cubase, like you can press a button and it quantizes everything for you.
Science.
I love it.
Yeah.
But I'm certainly nowhere near ready. Like I just started looking at Machine, which is Native's that's their sort of platform for recording or for like song production, and that's quite nice. Like you can create like beats quite easily and that sort of stuff, and then it's all linked to Cubase, so everything is like interlinked.
Oh, it's like a separate DAW?
Yeah. And it's just easier to visualize, so that it all works with those blocks, you know, they blocks everywhere, and you can just like block out a beat, and you can block out bass, and you can block out all that sort of stuff. And once you've got a loop going, then you can just record that loop into Cubase, and then you can start playing guitar, which is then obviously audio, and do
overlaying stuff. Yeah.
So it's
cool.
it's super exciting, and I'm getting there, but I'm nowhere near your high level of talent.
Well, I'm honestly not a producer myself. I've spent some more time this year trying to get like my skills up to the game to do proper demos for a producer that I can pitch and say, hey, like, would you be interested in taking this further? But there's such a, like, the headroom of like, even like if you're that good to being pro, it's just, there's so much in there.
Oh man.
And like,
it's huge.
And it never stops. It's so, it really, if you really kind of want to do that, you can't do anything else but that, because there's so much time that needs to be invested into becoming a master.
I've sat here for, you know, literally just since getting the keyboard, I've literally sat at this desk sometimes for like 8-10 hours, just like playing around and like figuring things out, and I'm just like, I've got another 9,990 hours to do this.
Yeah. And it can be sometimes discouraging, especially after like 10 hours and then you don't get anywhere.
Yeah. Discouraging,
so
very discouraging.
Those are the long days, but yeah, it's not, I'm nowhere near pro. I think that's why it's valuable. I think in today's music world, that you can like do so much in like just where I'm sitting with my laptop and this MIDI keyboard and the microphone. But yeah, we could go to the top of the Spotify charts with just what equipment's here right now.
No, for sure, for sure.
And we just need a good marketer.
Oh, that's what it's about. So, should we? Do you want to play something or?
Sure. I cut you off. Sorry. Yeah, I'd love to play another quick song. Sure.
Cool. What are you playing for us?
This song is called Better, and it's a song that I wrote with another artist in Toronto, Canada. His name's Bryan.
Oh,
And it's a song that will be released this year as well as one of the 2020 releases.
exciting
The year of
times.
2020.
A strange year, but
song,
a strange year, but a good year.
yeah, and so it's called Better. I've been down before, but not this low. I see the signs, but I don't know which way to go. What if I could escape? What if I jumped the wall? What if I did nothing at all? And I don't even doubt you living without me, loving without me. There's just something about this I'm figuring out who I am. I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna get better. One day I'll wake up and I'll feel better. It's gonna get better. I know one day I'll forget you forever. You knock me down, but I'll get up. Maybe getting out of bed today is good enough. But what if I see your face through the glass of a coffee shop? What if I don't even stop? And I don't even doubt you living without me, loving without me. There's just something about this I'm figuring out who I am. I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna get better. One day I'll wake up and I'll feel better. It's gonna get better. I know one day I'll forget you forever. I'm gonna get better. Oh, better. I'm gonna get better. Oh, I'm gonna get better. It's gonna get better. I know one day I'll forget you.
Wowee. Listening to Charles Cleyn here, all the way from Neükölln. Incredible. Fantastic music, new music coming to you.
Thanks, Tom.
Brand new this year. I think we got like one or two questions, and then we will remind everyone that we've got a new release coming on Friday.
Perfect.
Favorite venues? Any favorite venues that you've played at off the top of your head?
I really like Prachtwerk in Berlin. Yeah, I kind of miss going there. I go to their Wednesday open mics and Bar Bobu in Berlin as well. Two
That's a
like
good venue.
intimate small venues.
Yeah.
I really
We
like
need to
those.
get more of those. You get
And
more
live on Elgin in Ottawa. Shout out to my hometown who I played lots of shows there. So
live on Elgin.
yeah, it's called Live on Elgin.
Is that like a small venue, like or?
Yeah, like listening room, 90 seats, like
Great.
half-foot raised stage.
Good sound.
Rectangular, dark with lights.
Good sound.
Good sound.
Good sound. That's important.
Yeah.
Many people don't understand what good sound means.
Yeah.
All right, that's interesting. There's one that you would have to play at, but I just don't know how the venues in South Africa are coping. But Ulmer Cafe in Cape Town. If you ever play in a venue, you've got to play there.
Ulmer Cafe?
Ulmer Cafe in Rosebank in Cape Town.
Okay.
50 people only seated, and like an old Dynacord PA from what must be the 50s or the 60s, and it's the best sound you'll ever hear in your life. No,
really? Okay.
And this comes from someone who agitates on good sound. And it's like you sit there listening and you just go, ah. So Ulmer Cafe, remember that.
Okay.
And then I think this is sort of quite pertinent. What direction do you think music is heading in these days? Where are we going? Like, what's going to happen?
Yeah, I think I don't know. Definitely changing. I think there's no question about that. And I think we just need to get comfortable with the change. And it's sad that we don't listen to albums anymore. And it's sad that no one buys music, but it's just kind of what happened. Like we did that to ourselves with the way we built the market, right, of what it is now. So I'm really excited for what's about to happen with music because it's so easy to make. The barrier to entry is so small, and it's so easy to get mass reach with literally making a TikTok video.
For sure.
And so it like there's a lot of room for creativity and to make yourself be different, and then that stands out from everyone else. So I think it's exciting. I think music is unfortunately becoming maybe a bit more synthetic, less like, because we can make everything here that I actually don't have any real instruments other than my guitar. So you notice that in the feeling of music, and I miss that, but it's also how things are going, and we'll get used to it. And
I mean, you can't. I don't think everyone can afford to have 40 guitars in the room and grand piano and several drum kits, and no one has that sort of money these days. Yeah. So it makes sense.
Even studios, like it's unfortunate, like big studios, it's not a thing anymore, really, unless you have a band.
I don't know how studios pay their own way, to be honest. I don't know how it's feasible, because you can, for €2,000, €3,000, you can buy equipment that is world class and a license to Cubase or whatever you want to use, Ableton or whatever, and you can produce music like crystal clear, perfect music, mastered through Lander, for nothing. So
it's so easy.
There's the competition. So, I think there is still a lot to be said for knowledge over equipment. So having having ears and having somebody who's spent 30 years or 25 years mixing and mastering music, there's nothing that technology can do for that. So I think interesting.
Yeah, I agree. The skills are changing. Like mastery and skill will always be a thing, no matter like where things go. Like the masters of the skill set will stand out and
totally.
everyone will aspire to be that.
Exactly. I mean, if you can't, I mean, if you've got all the equipment in the world, if you can't actually use it, and you can't put it all together to create like this wow factor, then you can just basically throw it away. But if you work at it and you put your nose to the grindstone and you get your mouth out of the bar, then you can, and you put hours behind it. I promise you can do it. Like musicians can do it. So we'll see.
I agree.
Dude,
Still away.
It's been a great hour.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Nice,
and thanks for organizing this. And I'm tuning into your sessions, and I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, well, my pleasure, man. It's great to reach out and to try and like do these sorts of things. But I think the next level is what we were talking about earlier, is inviting people over for a cup of coffee and have the cameras and get all that sort of sorted out.
Right.
That's going to be great. Like, it'll be nice. Like just having people here and like 2 or 3 people here having coffee and talking about it. Here's Charlie Grant.
Yeah.
Charlie's got a question for us. How does playing shows in Canada differ to shows in Germany? Are the audiences different?
I think the audience. I would say the audiences in Germany are more attentive, and I've really noticed that playing shows here. They give you a lot of space to really perform and don't like kind of interrupt with a woo or like yeah. And I mean, which is a good thing and a bad thing, because when you're performing in an all German audience and there's not a lot of English speaking, then it's really hard to connect with the audience for me. But also there's a lot of space because they're very respectful and attentive. So it's very quiet. You can hear a pin drop, and that can leave you feeling kind of tied up inside. So in Canada, there's a bit more encouragement, I think, in the audiences, but then you never know if it's genuine.
Because, yeah, just could be the wide talking.
But then you're encouraged, and you kind of can feel a bit more loose. So it is different.
Mm. Okay.
Good question, Charlie. Thanks,
Charlie Grant. Charlie Grant was going to go camping, and he's obviously not camping, or he's camping and logged in from his mobile phone.
Crowdcasting and camping.
Dude, man, it was great to catch up. Lovely to see your space here. I see that all in all your videos, so it's quite fun. And
thanks so much.
Yeah, look, good luck for Friday. Everyone, as you know, Friday is King of My Own, released on all platforms. What time? Do you have a particular time, or just whenever they decide to?
12 a.m.
12 a.m. Well, just as soon after 12 a.m. as possible. So, and I think you sent out a pre-release button as well. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you can find a pre-release pre-save link in my Instagram or Facebook pages.
Okay. Good. But yeah, if you guys need any further information, you want to go to the YouTube channel that we've been talking about. The link is in here. If you go and click on the info button, you can go and look for the link that's YouTube, and then of course Instagram, and you also have your website, which is great. So yeah, dude, nice to see you. We're going to close out, I think, with what do you think? What Love Is? I'll put that on.
Sounds great.
I'll put that on.
Sounds great.
All right, good. Dude.
A year ago.
Nice to see you.
Have a great night. I really appreciate it. That was a lot of fun. Thanks, Dom.
No worries, dude. Take it easy.
Okay.
Bye for now.
Ciao. Bye.
Getting tired of my friends saying I should move on, but I just feel guilty
Oh, no.
And I know it's not cool that I keep checking my phone.
Sorry, bit of a mistake there, but here is What Love Is.
Going in the right direction. Don't know if I'm chasing the wrong signs, but I can't help it. Want that connection.
Thanks everyone for coming through this evening.
Sometimes.
Go and check out Charles Cleyn if you haven't done so before.
Not looking for a guarantee. Just need a
And
spark to start.
great to have you guys on board for the chat.
Shine it down righteously on me.
And we'll see you guys again soon.
Sometimes I'm scared up.
Make sure you go and check out the new release on all platforms on Friday. King of My Own. Great song. And we'll be announcing the next one for next Wednesday evening, coming up in the next few days. So take it easy, everybody. Bye for now.
I can help you carry the weight you're bearing as the journey gets harder than it ever seemed. Might not be roses, your blue eyes tearing, but I know brighter things will shine in between. Is the fire gonna light for me? Not looking for a guarantee, just need a spark to start. When it's dark, give me light to see. Shine it down righteously on me. Shine it on me. Sometimes I'm scared of the way that I need you, babe. I need you. You made me open up and trust you with my life. I know it's crazy, but if that ain't love, God knows what love is, what love is. And if that ain't love, God knows what love is, what love is. If that ain't love, what love is, what love is. If that ain't love, what love is, what love is. I know we get caught up searching for meaning, scared of getting off track, following a feeling. I know we get fed up looking for a reason. You show me more than words ever could. And if that ain't love, I know what love is.